First conversation I had with the coaches from each school, just knowing what they wanted and what I wanted, and I just narrowed down the list from it. It's different because you're not talking about your favorite color anymore. It's more so how do I fit in your system?
Right.
What are my weaknesses? What are my strengths for you? For me in your offense or defense, and it's pretty easy to narrow down the list when you ask those kind of questions.
How much did playing Indiana and knowing their style and seeing their success from being in the Big Ten and playing them impact them?
Yeah, it impacted a lot. And even though I wasn't able to really understand how they played because I was focused in my season.
Right.
When I went in the portal and I knew that Indiana was one of my top schools, I would watch their full games on YouTube with my family before making the decision. I think I watched 4 or 5 full games almost every night just to kind of see where I would fit and kind of just break down their entire offense and defense.
So did you just picture yourself as replacing Sarah?
Was
it easy though to see that's where I could fit?
Yeah. I mean, definitely. I mean, Sarah is a great player, and I had the privilege to meet her on my visit and talk to her about, her choice to transfer here and just how she said that it just kind of changed her life, and she's so grateful to even be a part of this team.
Did you know anybody else on the roster at all, or have any previous kind of connections to anybody?
No, not really, but obviously I knew of them because of playing, and I knew their scout pretty much, so I knew all their tendencies.
Coach said Allie played a big role in your recruitment.
Yes,
and
she
did. How did that bond kind of start?
Yeah, I think it started the first phone call. So she actually also transferred. She's a transfer from Notre Dame, and I think that's where our connection kind of started, and how big her faith actually played in her life, and that really connected with me as well. And we were kind of just joined at the hip since then. So.
And what's kind of when you entered the transfer portal, what was kind of your goal or mindset to what did you want to achieve by transferring? What was kind of your focus to do that, to find a new home?
Yeah, probably just being able to find a team where it's a great culture and great atmosphere, and I just heard so many great things about the staff and Coach Morin, and just felt like I couldn't really pass that up.
And she said that you're like a gym rat and you fit in with the culture, and more is expected, not just you have to. That's what this culture is here. Mm-hmm. Did you notice that right away, and how have you kind of felt once you've arrived?
I think I noticed it on my visit. It was Saturday morning. I came in to talk to the coaches and just kind of took a tour of the facility, and I see 4 or 5, 6 girls working out, going on the Versa climber, running. And it's Saturday morning. So from that point, I was like, okay, they work here. And I use this term a lot in my recruitment with wanting to be around like-minded people.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what is here. These people are in the gym constantly, and I love it.
So what's your workout routine? Like daily, what do you kind of put in? Even on an off day, do you have a routine like that?
Yeah, even so say tomorrow's an off day for us, we'll get in here, we'll get shots up on the gun, we'll work out with each other, we'll shoot with each other. Sometimes we'll just go on the Versa for fun. We'll get optional lifts in. There's never truly an off day, but that's because of how much we want it and just how much we also love it too.
So you're a shooter. How many shots do you put up a day?
Well, the goal is 500 makes a day.
500 makes.
Yeah, so I'll split that up throughout the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you keep coming back. How much time does that take? I mean, I just kind of a ballpark, on a given day. How many hours is that?
Gosh, maybe I'm probably in here 4 hours, 5 hours a day.
Spread out a couple hours in the morning.
Yeah, in the afternoon, and then I'll come back at night. Sometimes at night we're in here for 5 hours, just playing or goofing around or whatever the case may be.
Is it 500 3-pointers a day or just 500 makes a day?
Outside shots.
Outside
so
shots.
that'll be mid-range pull-ups, threes.
I was gonna say 500 threes sounds like.
Oh yeah, it'll definitely give your arms some little soreness.
Well, nice meeting you. Thank you. Look forward to coming here. Thank you.
Of course.
Do you remember which games you watched while going through your recruitment with your family?
Yeah, so we watched Iowa, we watched Illinois, we rewatched the Penn State game, obviously, and then what did we do? Michigan State, because that was another school that I was interested in. and then their South Carolina game, their Miami game from a few years ago. Yeah, we just tried to pick lots of games that was close, a game that they lost, a game where I was also in there, just to see what they were really like.
What do you remember the conversations being after just a close loss, or good moments and the bad moments in these games?
With my family,
Yeah.
you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of talk just about offensively where I can kind of see myself fit, because they do have a pretty big motion offense, and how different it would look without Mackenzie being down at the post. Just looking at just body language was really big for me, on the bench, the coaches, especially during timeouts, seeing what the talk was within the team, within the coaches.
Mm-hmm. And since the two transfers, you and Caroline, what is your guys' relationship like, and what is the message from her and to yourselves, being the new people?
Yeah, we have a great relationship. I think the first day that Kara actually came on campus, we had dinner together. So we started our relationship from day one, and we just got close ever since then. And I think being two transfers here, the only two, it kind of helps us get in the groove of things here. And the team has been great for us too, just trying to get adjusted.
Where'd you guys have dinner at?
Da Vinci's. I can talk about Da Vinci's for at least a couple hours.
What do you get from there?
I get the salmon with the tortellini, the pasta. Yeah, that's my favorite restaurant here.
Terry was kind of talking about how he's kind of speed dating with you.
Yeah.
And then she also mentioned that Ali was kind of instrumental in building a relationship with you. And then she made it hard for you to say no. What was the message from her, and how was it building a relationship with her?
Yeah, AP is someone that I didn't necessarily think I needed in my life until I met her. She showed me that there is a love of the game, and I think our biggest thing was that she was a transfer, and she could connect with me on that level, because it's a scary process, kind of just leaving the school that you were at and in hopes of going somewhere else and being happy or whatever the case may be. It's pretty scary. So just her and what she would say, the talks that we would have. She's very big in her faith, and so am I. And I think that was what really grew us together.
Do you have a favorite Bible verse or anything?
Oh, goodness gracious. Maybe not on top of my head. No.
Terry also described you as a bulldog. How do you think that you fit that?
She said it a couple times, actually. I would probably just say I'm just always just tough. I'm just always on the court, running or doing what we need to do. I'll shoot, I'll pass, I'll score, whatever the team needs to do, I'll be able to get in there and do it for them.
So far, Shay, what have you learned from Allie, from Terry, and kind of the entire coaching staff from the summer?
Yeah, I would say that hard work is going to pay off. I've never been around a group of people that works as hard as the staff and the players do here. And I think that is just what we build our culture on, just hard work, trusting the process, staying together, being together. And they instill that every single day.
I mean, you just got here.
Yeah.
They're talking a lot about, what you bring to this team, but in your eyes, just kind of where do you think you can improve on? What do you want to mainly improve on this upcoming season?
Yeah, I would just say being a leader. I'm a vet now, which is kind of crazy to think and say that. And we have a few freshmen on the team, and being able to have them look up to me and for me to set an example is really important. And I think that is something that I want to carry out for this entire season, is they can rely on me, and I could be a big voice for this team.
You got to experience something called